Hello, everyone. I just wanted to make sure that the answer to the question that one person asked was answered properly here regarding the cooking and warming up food on Yom Tov and Shabbos. This year we're going to have 3 days, which means we're going to have 2 days of Yom Tov where we are allowed to cook. And then we're going to have the third day, which is Shabbos, coming right after. So there's little things that if you're not used to have your own kitchen and do Yom Tov on your own, that you might not be aware of, and I want to give you a little tip on that. You are allowed on Yom Tov to and again, this is not a halacha shir. This is just practical tips on how to manage. There's plenty of halacha shirim you can find online on all the different websites, from the OU, from A.A.P.C, from all all the rabbis that give halacha shirim. But if you're alone, so you're going to cook just for one person, so not going to be a lot of food in the pot where you need to warm up your food. If you need to actually cook on Yom Tov, that's one thing. But in any case, I always recommend to leave your smallest burner, if you have a gas burner, to leave it the smallest one on the lowest level possible. Because, let's say on number 2, because on Yom Tov, you're allowed to increase the fire, but you're not allowed to decrease it. And what's going to happen is, if you want your food to be hot very fast and you increase the fire, that's very good. But then you have 3 days of a hot flame making the room hot and consuming gas and whatever else that you don't really need. So it doesn't take that long to warm up. Just a second. It doesn't take that long to warm up food. Really, it takes 5 minutes. We're so used that everything should take, 30 seconds in the microwave. But the truth is, to warm up food, if you put it on a very low flame, and it's just food for one person, it shouldn't take that very long. And you know in advance when you're going to be eating. So it's not like, oh, I don't know when to start warming up my food. Even if it takes 10 minutes, even if it takes at the most 15 minutes for your food to be hot on the smallest flame, I highly recommend you leave the smallest flame on for these 3 days of Yom Tov. Now, when you, let's say it's the first night of the seder, and I'm going to tell you a tip. Even though halachically, you don't need a blech for Yom Tov. You can put your pot right on the fire. I recommend you put the blech on. Why? Because you're going to, let's say, put your food, let's say, half hour before you start eating. You warm up that pot. Let's say you have the soup, and then you have a second course. You warm up that pot, you leave it on the blech. If it's already very hot and it got hot already, move it a little bit further on the blech. It'll still be kept hot, but it won't boil over and it won't get burned. So that's the advantage of the blech, that the heat goes around a little bit on the whole blech, and you have an easier time regulating how hot you want your pot to be. That's number 1. Number 2, if you have already, for example, warmed up your soup, and now you want to warm up your chicken, kugel, vegetables, whatever it is, you can warm up your soup a half hour before you eat. Then once your soup is hot, move it on the other side of the blech where it's a little bit cooler, and then put the rest of your food there. And this way you'll have your food hot at all, most of the time. Usually when you see the Agara Pesach night, I would say by the time we say the 10 makas, that's a good time to get up and check out in the kitchen and see how hot the food is, or put it on the blech or whatever. If it's room temperature, it'll take even less time to warm up. So that's one thing that I wanted to share with you. Yes, and we talked about having a blech. So the easiest way you can do it is buy a cookie sheet, put a little aluminum foil on top so it doesn't get dirty, and then just put it on top. You also have to cover your knobs with a foil or some kind of covering that doesn't burn, because the knobs are part of the stove to be covered for Shabbos. All right. So remember, you need cut up aluminum foil that you're going to cover your knobs with. You need your blech ready to go for Friday night, for Friday afternoon, I should say. And it's a good idea. So if you don't have a kettle, you can always put a pot of water, a small pot of water that is covered, fill it up with hot water, boil it before Shabbos. Like Friday afternoon, it'll take a little bit of longer because your flame is low, but it'll still get hot. Even if it takes longer, and then you'll have a pot of water. You can use it for your coffee, for anything you want, and you'll have the other pot. That's the advantage also of a blech, that you can put two small pots on the same level and regulate the heat from it. All right, so we talk about having this Yom Tov of Pesach as we are alone, but again, you're not alone. There's so many people that are in the same situation, and I should say that if we are alone, each one in our corner, we are more together this year than any other time, because we're thinking about all the people that need our prayers, that need our good thoughts, that need being connected on a spiritual level. And take this time to go within, to ask yourself, do I trust myself? What can I do to support myself in the greatest degree possible? What can I do to make myself happy? This is supposed to be a happy time. Remember, if you're healthy, and that's already a very good reason to be very happy. Optimize this magnificent gift that Hashem gave us to be alive and well. And this week of Pesach will go and pass, but what will come out from this Pesach and from the time that you spend by yourself, what will come out of this week, it will depend on how you nurture yourself, and not in a superficial way, but in a way that you thrive, in a way that you accept yourself, in a way that you do not judge yourself. There's always room for improvement and finding ways to be better. We're not finished with ourselves. We're not finished with working on ourselves, but be happy in finding ways to look at the future, to see the good coming up, and you will have a good recipe for a very good Yom Tov. Thank you so much. Talk to you later on a different video. And if you have any question, you can always call. Be well. Bye.